on the remnants of bygone civilization. In one of the semi-ruined buildings in the town of Prim, in Johnson Nash House, lie the remains of a robot. The courier, finding what appears to be a pile of junk, can, by repairing the robot, gain a loyal friend and companion. Today we will talk about Ida's personal quest. Don't forget to repair Ida. You will need a repair skill of 65 or a repair skill of 35 combined with a science skill of 55. If you don't have the necessary skills, you can wander the wasteland to gather some components needed to repair the robot. You will need 1 unit of scrap electronics, 2 sensor modules and 3 scrap metals. After this, the iBot will come to life. Like other courier companions, Ida has its own story behind, and you will be able to learn a little bit more about it, and also upgrade him at the end of the quest. The essence of the first stage of completing its personal task consists of triggering events that will allow you to listen to pre-recorded messages. Ida will play the message for you twice, before you can move on to the second part of the quest. And to hear them, you will need to meet certain conditions. You must travel with the robot. Secondly, not all triggers work correctly, and if you have already activated them without the iBot in your group, reactivation may be unsuccessful. Thirdly, about 2 in-game days should pass between the first and second recordings, but often fast-forwarding time does not work, so I recommend just taking a break from the quest for about an hour. Let's consider the triggers you need to find to activate the robot's audio recordings. There are 15 in total, and I will not go over all of them, but I will attach a brief list in the comments. The very first trigger will be visiting Gibson's scrapyard, which is not far from Prim. For activation, you need to be with the robot during your first visit and hear her greeting mentioning Helios. You can also ask her about Helios yourself. If you have already visited this place without Ida, this trigger will not work. In Jacobstown, you can find 2 dialogues. Dr. Henry, when asked about himself, will mention the Enclave. After this, you can also separately ask about the organization. Calamity, in her initial greeting, will mention the Enclave. This phrase will be unique, and you won't hear it again. At Helios Station, if you sneak deep inside of the building, you can talk to Ignacio, who will mention Enclave while talking about Archimed project. Michelangelo, the local artist, during a speech about the photographs needed for the strip, will mention Helios, which will trigger Ida's audio recording. So, let's assume you managed to trigger the first event. Look at what Ida will tell you. At some point, it will initiate a dialogue with you and start playing an audio recording. From the message, it will become clear that the robot is a new prototype of iBots, called an Object E. The robot was created by a scientist Whitley at Adams Air Force Base. The Duraframe project, during which Ida was developed, was closed. Then, resources were redirected to the Hellfire Armor project, but Whitley decided to send the working and only prototype to Navarro Base. Ida's journey was shown to us in one of the game's trailers and unfortunately was not successful. After the first recording, nothing special will happen, but after some time, you will find and activate the second trigger, which will cause the second audio recording to play. Now, Whitley, addressing the scientists at Navarro, will explain that this iBot actually carries the development of the Duraframe project. The courier will understand that Ida was programmed to announce this information only at specific time and place, but due to damage it could not reach Navarro. A few days after the second message was played, you will be contacted by 2 people. Knight Lorenzo from the Brotherhood of Steel will ask the courier directly through the iBot, suggesting to meet one of the Brotherhood of Steel squads at Repcon headquarters, because he is interested in the information within the robot. April Mortimer will approach the courier with a counter offer from the followers of the Apocalypse. She will ask to borrow Ida and bring it to the Old Mormon Fort. You can choose only one of those two factions, and either will receive different upgrades depending on your choice. If you choose the Brotherhood of Steel, the robot will receive improved defense, the robot's armor rating will increase from 8 to 20, and the Brotherhood will eventually create a small army of such robots. The followers will develop a new way to use solar energy for the benefit of the Wasteland. The robot itself will gain 5 bonus damage points and 5 additional critical damage points. In both cases, all stickers and road signs will be removed. After choosing a side, either will disappear for 3 days, after which you can find it in Nash's house. That's all for now. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click the bell, like this video and leave your comment.